Colorado's season, first game under Deion Sanders, is 6 days away, but they're not done making transfer portal additions. I'm going to talk about that and more on today's episode of Locked on Buffs.
You are Locked on Buffs, your daily podcast on the Colorado Buffaloes. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? This is Locked on Buffs. I am your host, Kevin Borba. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Colorado's latest transfer portal addition. The season's a few days away, and they're still making additions to the roster. We have an update on Tyler Brown, the offensive lineman. It's not great in terms of his eligibility stuff. And then they're going to be rocking new uniforms for the TCU game. I think it was accidentally leaked by Coach Prime. I don't know. But it's exciting nonetheless. And before we dive in, I want to thank you guys for making Locked on Buffs your first listen every single day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, your team every day. Okay, let's dive right in. Colorado. We know that they've been dabbling in the transfer portal a little bit. They've brought in over 50 transfers. They have the number one transfer class in the country. And they made another addition with about 6 or 7 days before the first game. It's, believe it or not, it is true. On Twitter the other day, I tweeted about it, and then I wrote about it over at Athlon. So if you guys want to go check that out for more detail about the addition, as one does, watching the Well-Off Media video, and all of a sudden there's a part where Deion Jr. Goes up to a player after a team powwow, team huddle, and he goes, "Hey, what's your name?" And the player has number 90 jersey on, which is a number that I don't think is occupied at the moment. And then has a number 90 jersey on, no social media handle on the back, because obviously they don't do names on the back. They do their social media handles. So if I was on the team, my jersey on the back would say @Kevin_Borba. And so he goes, "Hey, what's your name?" And then the guy goes, "Juju." And then he's like, "What's your last name?" He goes, "Mitchell." So let me show you the video so you guys can see what I'm talking about, and then we'll dive into it so that way I can kind of update you guys on just exactly who this is and what he brings to the table, even though the season's about to start. So let me share my screen real quick. Okay, here we go.
Hey, what's your name?
Juju, man.
Juju?
Yeah, Juju.
What's your last name?
Mitchell. Hey, don't get used to this number, though.
Okay.
It's just for now. We accommodate.
It's early
It's
number.
all love.
Yeah.
So, as you can see and hear, he goes, "What's your name?" Juju, like I said. Mitchell is his last name, and then he goes, "Don't get used to this number. I'm accommodating," which interesting comment there, but he's accommodating. He's going to be joining the team. His name is Juwan Mitchell. Let me tell you about him. Came from the junior college level. He transferred in from Butler Community College, transferred to Texas, where he spent 2 seasons at Texas, led the Longhorns in tackles in 2020. And then after a stint with the Texas Longhorns, he transferred to Tennessee, where he spent the past 2 years, was injured in 2021, so he didn't put up any numbers that were any significance, recorded like 8 tackles. But in 2022, had 43 total tackles and an interception, was a starter at both places, and then decided to transfer again for his final year, went to Arizona State, and unfortunately for him, it did not work out there. In fact, it did not work out in about a week. 24/7 Sports' excuse me, just a second, Chris Cartman reported that Mitchell was dismissed from the team after just 1 week. So not great, but let me dive in. So it says Tennessee linebacker transfer Juwan Mitchell was expected to be a major contributor this season at Arizona State. Obviously, he started at both Texas and Tennessee, and he was kind of, as someone who covered Texas, I was impressed. I figured he's just kind of like a plug and play guy wherever he went. According to people directly familiar with the development, Mitchell was dismissed from the team over the weekend by ASU coach Kenny Dillingham on the heels of sophomore cornerback Isaiah Johnson also being shown the door. Dillingham consistently said that establishing a healthy culture in his first year in Tempe is paramount to his long-term aspirations with the Sun Devils. Then he said, even though he started at Tennessee last season and led Texas in tackles in 2020, Mitchell clearly did not meet the expectations set by Dillingham that all players are held accountable to. Obviously it didn't work out there, but he is now with Colorado. And so he will have a chance to kind of redeem himself, I guess you could say. He will have a chance to, I don't know, because right now he's not listed on the roster. I confirmed that he is currently, at the bare minimum, he has a student email. I know that for a fact. But he's not on the roster. Obviously at number 90, and obviously they start the season this week. So I don't think he'll have a role for a couple weeks, maybe even 3 or maybe the first month. Who knows where he'll kind of fit in? Because obviously they've been having position battles for the past month and a half or 2 months or whatever it may be. So I don't know where he fits in right now. Long term though, throughout the season at least, because this is his 6th and final year of eligibility, he should at least be, at the very minimum, he's going to be a rotational guy that plays a lot. I think at his peak he could start. I think he's battle tested. He's shown that he could be a productive player. He's shown that he can make tackles. He's shown that he could do a little bit of everything, get an interception or two. And with Colorado's defense, I think the biggest question, and just the team in general, is depth. And so he adds depth. If he doesn't start, then he's a very serviceable guy off the bench. If he does start, then it bumps a guy who obviously was going to start to the bench. And so they have more depth now. So he adds depth, he adds experience. What he brings, I don't say I'm concerned about the cultural thing at ASU. We don't know what that means. We don't know why he wasn't a culture fit. I'm not going to speculate anything. But obviously there was something there. So hopefully he got that ironed out and that's out of the way. But for Colorado, more depth, a talented playmaker. This is a pretty big addition. I don't personally expect to see him anytime soon, but you never know. I would say give it a few weeks and maybe we'll start hearing about Juwan Mitchell suiting up and doing his thing. But I think this is a great addition for Coach Prime, by Coach Prime. Obviously, he's taking a chance on Juwan Mitchell, who's obviously been on, this will be his 4th team in as many years, in 3 years, really. He's taking a chance on him, but it's a good chance. I think it's a good gamble. Like I said, he's proven. He's played a lot. And when you're a team like Colorado who just needs to develop experience and kind of get these guys on the field, having someone who has that experience already helps out a lot. So Juwan Mitchell, the latest addition to the Buffs, currently number 90, won't stay the same, according to himself. Okay. Let me tell you about Athletic Brewing. It's time for your Game Changer of the Week, brought to you by Athletic Brewing, the Athletic Brewing Company. Much like Travis Hunter, who obviously is a complete game changer for Colorado, Athletic Brewing has completely changed the non-alcoholic beer game. They make non-alcoholic beers that taste actually good. Obviously, Travis Hunter is a guy who plays both ways for Colorado, and he's expected to be a star this week for Colorado against TCU. As for Athletic Brewing Company, they've completely changed the non-alcoholic beer game. They brew over 50 styles of craft non-alcoholic beer, including IPAs, golden, sours, and more. They're constantly releasing limited edition experimental styles to add to their variety. They're a fit for all times, so you could drink them watching a big game or your kid's game. Maybe when you're doing a workout or whatever. The best part is there's no hangover ever. So if you would like to go online and find your perfect flavor, because I took a test to find my perfect flavor and it's great, you can find Athletic Brewing Company's non-alcoholic brews at a store near you or buy online at athleticbrewing.com. First-time customers can use Locked On to get 15% off your first online order. That's code Locked On, LOCKEDON, at checkout for 15% at Athletic Brewing Company at athleticbrewing.com, near the beer aisle. Exclusions and conditions apply. Athletic Brewing Company, fit for all times. Okay, let's dive right back in. This one's a little more on the unfortunate side. This is not the way that we kind of wanted to hear this news, but obviously the NCAA is kind of sometimes a thief of joy, if you will. Tyler Brown, who, if you guys aren't familiar, is a Jackson State transfer that transferred to Colorado, expected to have a major role for the offensive line. He was denied immediate eligibility. He's a 2-time transfer, which they are cutting. They were obviously very harsh on these past couple of weeks and months. So basically, in short, for the transfer portal, for you to have immediate eligibility, like no matter what, it's got to be your first time or your grad student. If you don't qualify for either of those, you have to have a waiver. whether it be a hardship waiver or whatever, medical waiver, whatever it may be. Unfortunately for Tyler, he applied for it and was denied, and obviously will not be playing for Colorado this upcoming season. I wrote about it over at Athlon, a little bit about him. Started his career at the University of Louisiana Lafayette, where he played in 11 games from 2019 to 2021. Transferred to Jackson State for the 2022 season. He started all 13 games, was an AP third team All FCS, while was also named first team All SWAC. The NCAA denied his transfer request, which obviously he experienced some. You guys can go watch a video in the article. I don't want to summarize it and do it injustice, but he experienced some hardship at Louisiana Lafayette and experienced some adversity. Was hoping that maybe his waiver would be accepted so that way he could suit up for Colorado again, but that wasn't the case. And so Colorado loses a lineman who, when you look at their PFF grades, which I talked about last week and you guys got a little upset about, he was the highest graded player on Colorado's team in terms of offensive linemen that were returning. And then he was at either position. He was tackle or guard. He was the highest graded player. And so it's really a big loss because let me go through these grades again. Outside of Savion Washington, who had a great grade as well. He was the second highest player, Savion Washington had a grade of overall 75.2, pass blocking 78.9, 71.4 for run block. Then the tank, Gerard Christian, comes in at number 430th nationally. Savion Washington was 70th nationally. And his pass blocking grade was 48, run blocking grade 58.9. Tyler, on the other hand, his grades were pretty solid as well. Let me pull that up too. He ranked in the 200s. Obviously, was expected to be a starter for this Colorado team. Kind of would have solidified at least one side of the line. The blind side of all places too. Tyler ranked 221st. Overall grade is 64.3. Really good at pass blocking. 78.7. 68 or 63.6 for the run block. Had great size. 6'3", 310 pounds. So obviously they lose a guy who's a starter. Realistically, you're losing a starting caliber lineman. That kind of brings into question the depth at the offensive line. Obviously, they brought in more junior college guys who are joining the team, but you had a proven as it gets guy, and so that's kind of disappointing. Expect for Jack Bailey to kind of take on a major role now. He had a 61.2 grade, 74.7 pass block, 58.7 run block, 6'3", 280. A little bit not as big as Tyler, but yeah, truly unfortunate situation. Go check out his story. He put up a video. It's about 15-ish minutes talking about why he was hoping the NCAA would accept his waiver and what he kind of told him. And obviously it's not going to work out this year. Big blow for him. Obviously you'd never want to see a kid not be able to play. Obviously a big blow for Colorado. I think the offense line, I think it's one of the bigger questions. We'll find out this weekend. I think that's kind of been the 24/7s wrote about it. Other sites have wrote about it. The offensive line is just kind of the group where there's just question marks about what their overall ceiling is, who's going to step up, and obviously losing a guy like Tyler Brown, who was not only more proven than the other guys, being a first-team All-SWAC guy, but realistically, it was kind of he was a starter. He was a really good player. Seems like a really nice kid. So just a truly unfortunate situation. So you hate to see that, but that's kind of the NCAA's MO. Not really making the popular decision. They're okay with kind of, I guess I won't say making the wrong decision, but they're okay with putting their foot down for certain things. Whether you agree with those certain things, different discussion for a different day, but Colorado will be without Tyler Brown for this upcoming season. So we'll kind of look out to see who emerges as a starter. Do they kind of rotate guys in? Does someone emerge? We'll find out. But that's kind of where Colorado's at, the offensive line. Not great when you're 6 days ahead of the 6 days away from the season starting, but they've been working hard all fall camp. So I'm sure they have someone ready. It's just not a situation they want to be in. A situation that you don't want to be in is trying to find tickets for a sporting event, maybe like the Colorado TCU game, and it's stressful. You're stressing about, oh, we're going to get good seats. Are we going to get the cheap seats? Are we going to get seats that are affordable? You don't have to worry about that with Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite event should never be stressful. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. Game Time is the only site I go through. It is the best. They not only allow you to get the cheapest tickets possible for great seats, because some of those other places are ramping the prices up, but you're allowed to kind of click on the seat. So maybe you want to sit right here behind me in the behind the end zone. You get to see a little vantage point. You get to see what your view would be. So that's a great feature too. They have flash deals and last minute tickets. It's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. Like I said, you get images of the seats and you get the lowest prices guaranteed, event cancellation protection, and job loss protection. So forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. So maybe you want to plan an impromptu trip to Texas this Friday and you need a ticket. Go to Game Time for the game. You'll have a chance to find a perfect seat. You get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Get images of your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never ever have to dig through your email. Snag the tickets without stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Okay, last topic of the day before you guys embark on your what is hopefully a great Monday. Let's dive in. Colorado's donning the new uniforms. Aaron Andrews kind of talked about it, which I'll play you guys the clip of that, just because it was kind of I love the description. It was a better description than I could give you, I guess. Let's see. Aaron Andrews, Colorado. Colorado is obviously away, so they're going to be donning some white uniforms. Here, let me pull up the clip. Here you go. Let me share my screen again. Sorry, I feel like a teacher when I do this sometimes because I gotta like walk my way through it. So here we go. So that last part there, they got a sunglass deal. Everybody's going to be walking and wearing sunglasses. They got the new cleats, the Coach Prime cleats, and then they got uniforms, which I would show you guys the picture of the uniforms, but it was, I think, accidental leak. It reminds me, I guess, of the best comparison I think you could say is the Saints. I don't know if it's a color rush uniform, but it's their all white uniforms that have the bright gold. It looks great. Colorado's donning the uniforms. I think it was Uncle Neely was who said it a few months ago, was that Colorado was going to have as many uniform combos as Oregon or whatever it may be. I think they're bringing the heat this weekend. They're going to be donning sunglasses. They're going to be looking good. You're going to be playing good, hopefully, for all you Bucs fans out there that make the trip. And obviously, I think it'll signify a new era of Coach Prime. They got new uniforms, new look. You feel good, you play good, all the above. So look out this Saturday for Colorado taking on TCU. I'm going to have another preview this Thursday coming up with the Locked on TCU guy, the Locked on Horned Frogs podcast. We're going to have Colorado's new uniforms. We're going to have Colorado players in sunglasses. I'm going to talk about, I won't say my predictions for the game, but I noticed that there's been a lot of disagreement about certain takes I've had. So I will go over kind of my take list before the game. So that way on Monday, We could talk about where I was right and where I was wrong about the game. And so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to seeing these new uniforms. I'm looking forward to the first game of the Coach Prime era. And I know you guys are too. I appreciate you guys for tuning into Locked On Buffs every single day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. My name's Kevin Bohr. Make sure to subscribe. We're nearing I want to get to 3,000 pretty soon. We're at 2,500 already. Very appreciative of that. Make sure to comment all your thoughts and questions. We can do question and answer stuff coming up. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great Monday and a great start to your week. College football's here.